This sweet little old man is Brian Martin. Father, retired pastor. International drug smuggler. In every cell block of every prison in the world, you'll find a convicted criminal who says he was framed. But Brian Martin actually was. And now he's serving 6 years in a Spanish penitentiary.
He was definitely duped.
Brian's son, Andy Martin, has kept in daily contact with his dad since his arrest early last year.
He's not in great health, and at 77, you got to be worried whether or not he can survive a 6-year sentence in prison.
It starts when this member of the greatest generation collides with the internet.
When my dad was lonely, he was single again at the time, and he'd gone online on chat sites, just to pass the time. And that's where he met Joy.
Joy claimed to be a struggling artist from the United Kingdom in her 30s. She could talk sweet and was definitely looking for a sugar daddy.
And at some point, she asked him if he could help supporting her. She was hungry, she didn't have enough money to eat. And, my dad would send, a good portion of his Social Security check to her every month.
Brian and Joy's relationship was very give and take. Brian would give, Joy would take.
Various things would come up. She would get sick, be in the hospital. She needed money to pay different bills. She promised to marry him. This attractive young lady in her 30s was going to come marry my 70-year-old father, and he bought into it, hook, line, and sinker.
But Brian's new girlfriend wasn't who she claimed to be. Joy wasn't an online single, but an operative for an international criminal cartel. One that in the internet age has been making a killing, duping seniors into parting with their hard-earned savings.
This certainly falls within that realm of telemarketing scams. It is a billion-dollar industry. Some of these seniors are, just lonely, which makes them susceptible. They don't have the internet savvy to know that they're being played.
Probably been working their whole lives.
Yes.
Just to save for that retirement period.
Yes, and now they're spending a chunk of that retirement period potentially in a foreign jail.
These heartless crooks believe a golden goose like Brian could be used for more than just his nest egg. He doesn't know it, but Brian's actually being groomed for a role in a well-organized racket, a drug mule.
They're targeting people and saying, hey, we need you to go and travel to sign paperwork or to collect, this inheritance or whatever the other underlying scam can be. And as the people travel, they're given a package to take from one of the stops on the journey to another stop on the journey. The package generally appears innocuous, be it a suitcase with a false lining, be it a box of chocolates where the chocolates are actually methamphetamine.
But before the cartel can spring their trap on Brian, a miracle happens that should have saved him. Brian finds love offline and marries a local woman. His mistake? He contacts Joy, who is most likely not even the woman in this picture, to break off their relationship. But the person calling themselves Joy, who could actually be a man posing as Brian's old flame, would end up burning him one last time.
One of the stories that Joy told him early on was that she'd inherited a vast estate in South America, but she couldn't go there herself. After he got married, Joy reminded my father of the promise he had made to help her get these real estate documents. He felt like a promise was a promise, and it's a sacred bond that, when he gives a promise, he keeps his word.
Brian's sense of duty would lead to a tragic mistake. Speaking from his Spanish prison, Brian says he will never forget what happened next.
I went to Lima, Peru, and got the parcels. They were sealed, so I couldn't. They asked me not to check them. I said, well, if the police want to look at them, they said, that's okay. So that made me feel somewhat confident that they were legitimate. But when I got to the Madrid airport and they went through the x-ray machine, and that's when they caught them. Cocaine, 1.8 kilograms.
They opened it right there. They took a knife, stuck it in the package, and pulled out some white powder right in front of him. He was just mortified. Could not believe, he told me that his heart just sunk. He had no idea. The Spanish National Police put the cuffs on him and took him away.
And Joy? She's nowhere to be found, if she ever existed at all.
It most likely wasn't a Joy. I did some research online after this all happened into different Joys and Nigerian scammers, and there's several different people out there claiming to be Joy. Some have been arrested. Some ended up being men in South Africa who've been caught.
I feel she may have been a man. She sent a lot of pictures
feds estimate that 145 U.S. citizens like Brian have been tripped up in this scam, with 30 still wasting away in foreign prisons. Senator Susan Collins says the problem is the U.S. doesn't have any jurisdiction to nab the overseas bad guys.
This is by far the worst. It's the most heinous because it dupes vulnerable senior citizens into being unknowing transporters of drugs into foreign countries.
They're just not free.
They're
not held
free.
accountable.
And they're undoubtedly, even as we speak, searching for other victims.
Efforts of the feds are welcome, but is it too little? And for citizens like Brian Martin nearing the end of their lives, is it too late?